Bonjour tout le monde, je m'appelle Souad Chreigui, je suis votre nouvelle enseignante de la langue anglaise. Je suis tunisienne et j'ai 36 ans. Je suis titulaire d'une maîtrise en langue anglaise de la faculté des sciences humaines et sociales de Tunis. Je fais de l'enseignement de la langue anglaise depuis 12 ans dans des facultés et écoles étatiques et privées. J'aurai un grand plaisir de travailler avec vous cette année pour apprendre cette langue. Donc, maintenant, je vais présenter le programme de l'anglais pour cette année. So, I will start with part 2, as you see here, the importance of English in daily life. Okay? As you know, so knowing English increases your chances of getting a good job in a multinational company within your home country or for finding work abroad. It is also the language of international communication, the media, and the internet. So, learning English is important for socializing and entertainment as well as work. Now, why is English important in our life? So, before proceeding with this question, I have a question to ask, and that is English really important to learn? And the answer to it is undoubtedly yes. At present, English is among the top spoken languages worldwide. English is not a language just to copy and paste the vocabulary from the dictionary. It is actually fun. It has emotions, expressions, and it is the best coupon to use when you meet other people around the world. So learning English can be a key to numerous doors in your career and will open up a wide area for this exposure. Let's move on to part 3 of this program, which is the importance of studying English. So here are many reasons why learning a new language is a good idea. It allows you to communicate with the new people. It helps you to see things from a different perspective or get a deeper understanding of another culture. It helps you to become a better listener. It even has health benefits, as studies have shown that people who speak 2 or more languages have more active minds later in life. So, why should I learn English? So connection to the world. It's a fact. So learning English can help you to explore and connect with the new people, not just in some specific area or place, but around the world. It can add new exposures and experiences to your life. As it is widely said, always remember to carry your passport, visa, and good knowledge of English with you while going on a foreign trip. If you dream of visiting several countries around the world or wish to settle in a foreign country, it is needless to say that learning English may give you a good start. Even if you don't travel to any of the foreign countries, but still with your English speaking skills, you can connect to various people on social media from around the world. Now let's talk about personal growth. Let me begin with a very relevant example here. When you visit a ravishing hotel or restaurant and the waiter or waitress greets you in English, or when you see your colleagues at office getting high increments and promotions because of being confident and fluent at spoken English during their presentations. So at this point of time, you realize the real importance of English and how important it is to speak English fluently. Eventually, you will work on your personal growth of spoken English skills. Okay, now let's talk about the importance of English, of course, in interviews and competitions. Moving on, English gives you a good impression of yours in interviews, and ignoring the language may affect your chances of selection. So learning the English language can surely boost your career growth as well, and not just interviews. You have a world outside to compete with. You have to set high standards for yourself in the world, and English might be the first step to cover your high standards. What about day-to-day usage? So you may notice English is widely used and spoken in your surroundings in your day-to-day life. The menu at the cafes are mostly in English. Schools are now charging fines from the students for not speaking English. So there are more numbers of English contents of English than our native languages over the internet. Eventually, we can observe English evolving daily. Now let's talk about the basics of English. As you know, so the basics of English include these four aspects, which are speaking, listening, writing, and reading, which will help you to communicate in English. You need to consistently practice all for your overall performance. So English learning tips for beginners. 1. So listen to English every day. Listen to English radio, for example. 2. Make an English friend or make up conversations. Read English stories. Example, you start with children's books and so on. Write on new words. Start a notebook for new words. Keep an English diary. Number 5. 6. Visit an English speaking country. So in order, of course, to improve your English level, as I said here in this part, okay, so you should listen always to English conversations, English videos, okay. You can watch movies, okay. Then also it's important to make English friends who speak English friends, okay, to read magazines, English books, okay, and all of this, of course, help you to improve your English level. Now let me introduce part 5, which is the expected outcomes of learning English. So, beginner English course objectives are understand keywords, some phrases, simple commands, and short sentences in simple conversations. Read a simple text that is related to daily life and experience. Topics include written events, descriptions of people, places, and things, and simple instructions, and so on. So, here, beginner English course level 1. Students who want to communicate in English and develop basic speaking, reading, writing, and listening skills. So, it's an integrated skills course. Again, so beginner English course objectives are: number 1, ask and respond to simple, routine, and predictable questions about personal information. Students, of course, will learn how to communicate some basic needs in informal conversations. Number 3, students will learn how to understand keywords, some phrases, simple commands, and short sentences in simple conversations. 4, students will be able to read a simple text that is related to daily life and experience. To talk about topics include routine events, descriptions of people, places, and things, and simple instructions. Also, students will be able to write a few sentences and phrases about topics that are familiar to the student, like family, travel, food, health, and so on. They will learn too how to show some control over basic grammatical structures to communicate basic needs. Introduce the course reference book, which will be, of course, Cambridge 5th edition, okay, English book, Interchange. So, Interchange, as you know, is a 4-level American English course that has been used by over 50 million students worldwide. This edition has been developed with insights from thousands of experienced teachers. The series delivers a communication approach, flexible unit structure, and easy-to-use digital support, giving teachers the tools they need, and empowering students to achieve their goals. Teachers choose Interchange because it works. So every unit in Interchange 5th edition contains 2 cycles, each of which has a specific topic, grammar point, and function. The units contain a variety of exercises, including, of course, snapshot conversation, perspectives, grammar focus, punctuation, discussion or speaking, word power, listening, writing, reading, and interchange activity. The sequence of these exercises differs from unit to unit. Interchange is a book by Jack Richards, published by Cambridge University Press. So, Interchange, of course, the world's most successful series for adult and young adult learners of North American English, the course has been revised to reflect the most recent approaches to language teaching and learning. It remains the innovative series teachers and students have grown to love, while incorporating suggestions from teachers and students all over the world. This edition, of course, offers updated content in every unit, like grammar, practice, and opportunities to develop speaking and listening skills. Interchange 5th edition features contemporary topics and a strong focus on both accuracy and fluency. Its successful multi-skill syllabus integrates themes, grammar, functions, vocabulary, and pronunciation. The underlying philosophy, of this course remains that language is best learned when it is used for meaningful communication. So the level 1, of course, student's book builds on the foundation established in the intro for accurate and fluent communication, extending grammatical, lexical, and functional skills. Beautiful color photographs and illustrations facilitate the teaching of a new vocab. So the new Interchange series teaches students to use English for everyday situations and purposes related to school, work, social life, and leisure. As with the other levels of a new Interchange, a complete set of ancillaries, including a video program, is available to make classes interesting and productive. So this is concerning the book reference. Now let's talk about the plan, of course, of our course here. As you see here, lesson 1. Lesson 1 of this program will be about, of course, introducing, okay, yourself. Unit 1, okay, will be about, as I said, introducing yourself. The title of Unit 1, what's your name? So in this course, students will learn how to introduce themselves and friends, how to say hello and goodbye, how to ask for names and phone numbers. Concerning the grammar part, of course, they will learn how to use possessive adjectives like my, your, his, her, the verb to be, affirmative statements, and contractions. Unit 2 will be under the title, Where are my keys? Okay, so this unit will be about possessions, classroom objects, personal items, and locations in a room. So, students here will learn how to name objects, how to ask for and given the locations of objects. The grammar part will be about articles, plurals, questions with be, prepositions of place, like in front of, behind, on, next to, and under. Now let's talk about Unit 3. Unit 3 here. So now let's introduce the plan of Book 1. So the first unit will be under the title, Where are you from? The main topics of this unit will be introductions and greetings, names, countries, and nationalities. So at the end of this course, of course, students will be able to introduce themselves, introduce someone, check in information, exchanging personal information, saying hello and goodbye, talking about school subjects. Concerning the grammar part, so students will learn how to use W questions and statements with be, questions with what, where, who, and how. Yes or no questions and short answers with be, subject pronouns, possessive adjectives. Students will also learn how to write questions requesting personal information and how to, of course, collect personal information about classmates. In Unit 2, which will be under the title, What do you do? So students here will talk about jobs, workplaces, and school daily schedules, clock time. They will speak about, of course, work and school. They will be able to describe and ask for and given opinions. Also, they will learn how to describe daily schedules. The grammar part here will be about the simple present WH questions and statements. Questions like when, time expressions they will learn how to use at, in, on, around, early, late, until, before, and after. Concerning the reading section, of course, students will be able to write a biography of a classmate. Okay, now let's move on to describe Unit 3, which will be under the title, How much are these? So the main topics of this unit are shopping and prices, clothing and personal items, colors and materials. So here students will talk about prices, learn how to give opinions, how to discuss preferences, and how to make comparisons, especially when buying and selling things. In grammar section, so students will learn the demonstratives like this, that, these, those, how much, and which, comparisons with adjectives. The reading section will be about writing about favorite clothes, now Unit 4, of course, will be about music, movies and TV programs, entertainers, invitations and excuses, dates and times. Here the students will of course talk about likes and dislikes, how to give opinions and how to make invitations and excuses. They will learn how to use yes or no and WH questions with do, questions like what kind, object pronouns, modal verbs, would, okay. The writing section in this course will be about writing text messages, okay. And as an interchange activity, students will learn how to make plans, how to invite and give excuses. Unit 5 of this course will be okay, family members and typical families. The title of the course will be what an interesting family. Here students will learn how to talk about families and family members, how to exchange information about the present, and how to describe family life. The grammar sections here will be about present continuous, WH questions, statements and short answers, quantifiers, okay, and the reading part here, and the reading and the writing part also. So students will learn how to write an email about family and how to find out, of course, information about classmates and families. Okay, let's move on now to describe Unit 7, okay, which will be about free time and weekend activities. Here the students will talk about past events. They should learn how to give opinions about past experiences and talk about vacations. The grammar sections will be about the simple past, yes or no, and WH questions, statements and short answers with regular and irregular verbs, and the past of be. The writing and reading sections here will be about writing a blog post, okay, like for example talking about awesome vacations and reading about different kinds of vacations. Unit 7, it will be under the title We Went Dancing. The main theme of this, of course, unit will be free time and weekend activities. Students will learn how to talk about past events, how to give opinions about past experiences, and how to talk about vacations. Now let me introduce Unit 8. The title of Unit 8 is How is the Neighborhood? So this unit will be about stores and places in a city, neighborhoods, houses and apartments. In this unit, students will learn about and describing locations of places. They will learn also how to ask about and describe neighborhoods and how to ask about quantities. In grammar section, students will learn how to use prepositions of place, quantifiers, questions like how many and how much, count and non-count nouns. In the writing sections, students will learn how to request personal information. The listening section, so here students will listen for names, countries and school subjects. Unit 9, what does she look like? So the main topics of Unit 9 are appearance and dress, clothing and clothing styles, people. In the speaking section, students will learn how to ask about and describe people's appearance and how to identify people. The reading and writing sections here, students will write an email describing the person and will read about the history of selfies. And also they will listen to descriptions of people. Unit 10, have you ever been there? So, this unit will be about past experiences and unusual activities. In this section, students here will describe past experiences, exchange information about past experiences and events. They will be able to use the present perfect, WH questions, statements, and short answers with regular and irregular past participles. The writing and reading section will be about writing an email, describing a person. And here, the listening section here, students will listen to descriptions of people. To conclude, English has become a way of living life. It has become dynamic and is constantly evolving eventually. Learning spoken English is very important in our lives. English subject is often split into main topics which obviously can help a student to improve his or her skills in English. These two topics are English literature and English language. When we talk about English literature, it's simply the study of different books and writings from authors, past and present. One of the importance of studying this English literature is that allows every student to develop their ideas and ethical standpoints. However, when we say English language, it is the study of the language itself. It's the method of a human communication, either spoken or written, consisting of use of words in a structured and conventional way. The importance of this one is that it helps students to read and write well. How to use the English language is to its greatest effect and being creative with the language itself. When we combine these two main topics, we acquire that studying both topics can increase one's vocabulary, increase creative ability, and teach about the history of the language and the culture from which great writers were writing their books. Language is the basic medium of communication and sharing thoughts with other people. Every country and region has its own national language and sub-languages. It's very difficult to learn and understand every language because there are 100 plus languages in the world. For communication with people all over the world, the English language is the common language and is very important to learn. The English language is the most common and understandable in the world. In the world, you go everywhere, people can understand the English language. The English language also helps you to communicate with your friends, companies, and other people easily around the world. So English is almost certainly considered as one of the most important subjects that students can learn from school. Each and every one of us should have knowledge and learning when it comes in studying the English subject. In studying our English language, we use different types of communicating: verbal communication, non-verbal communication, written communication, and many different forms. In addition to this, communication plays an important role in the process of conveying more knowledge and ideas as well. Communication is a way of interacting with people to transmit a message the speaker wants to convey to the receiver. So in order to communicate properly, we must construct the correct pronunciation, because pronunciation affects how we understand the meaning of the words. Today, the English language is very useful in our community and society because we use it in our daily lives. It helps us in communicating with others, especially to those people from the other country. Learning English may also give us better insight into our native language and other languages we know. Mes chers étudiants, après la présentation du programme de la langue anglaise, je vous souhaite une bonne rentrée